After Alex Del Piero with the 10, Paolo Dybala and Paul Pogba, Juventus is looking for a new number 10. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Yes, you already know, we speak about Kenan Yildiz. And today I want to come back on what we said yesterday. For what reason? Because if yesterday Tuttosport was writing it somewhere in a small sentence, possibility to give him the 10 in the future, today Gazzetta is going full power. Kenan Yildiz in big with the tongue a la Del Piero. Vai con Yildiz. Go with Yildiz. But more than repeating what I already said yesterday, speaking about Kenan and the number 10, I want to go towards what they are already describing as a possible collateral damage. Someone that is risking because of that decision. So stay with me. I want to start first speaking about Charlie Carlos Alcaraz press conference yesterday. Mamma mia. I don't know you, but yesterday he gave me a fantastic first impression. The field will tell us yes or no is worth the money. By the way, he answered that question. So I will go through that. Speaking about Rabiot, possible interest from Bayern Munich after the voices of Inter a week ago. Speaking about Dusan Vlahovic, first talks about contract extension, lowering his salary. And I will not speak about the blue card of FIFA. I will not speak about Ceferin leaving presidency in 2027 of UEFA. Why? Because I already made a video about it yesterday. So if you want to support the channel, me as a content creator, Maximo Fly, don't forget to subscribe. But also, out of curiosity, go back to my new channel, to my second channel, Football. I spoke about it in a video. I will put the link here. You just have to click and you will be redirected. It's helping me a lot. And I'm sure that you will be interested in what I wanted to say about Blue Card, Ceferin, and also about the Nations League with Italy playing against Belgium, France, Israel, and the other countries. Now we start speaking about Juventus, speaking about Charlie Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz infiamma la Juve. Alcaraz is putting Juventus on fire, and especially the Juventini, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that yesterday listening to Alcaraz in Spanish. I love to listen to him in original language. Why? Because that's where you feel where he's stopping, where he's going, where he's accelerating, where he's putting an intonation, when he's watching the cameras. I loved it. I love how he was. If I have to take one lesson from that press conference, I said the maturity. The maturity, the self-awareness, the garra guy, the guy with a lot of grinta that said, oh, you maybe not know me, but I will show you who I am. I really loved that. I really love that. So let's go fast through the important things that he said. The first one is tactically. Where will he play? He said, I am a player that always played in the middle of the field. I can also play as a falso 9, but here, since I'm here, since a few days, I am being tested as a right mezzala. Why is it important? Because we were all thinking he's also loving to play from the left to go in, so he can possibly be a sub for Adrien Rabiot. At the moment, he's playing on the right, so we can imagine him being a sub of Weston McKennie. On the other side, is Max Allegri already preparing a tactical change, not for Monday against Udinese, but a tactical change in some moments of the game, or maybe sometimes even from the start. McKennie going back to what he did in the beginning of the season, wide, where he's playing a lot, with Alcaraz as a mezzala and Cambiaso there on the left, putting Kostic a bit on the bench. Could be an alternative from the start, from the second half, somewhere in the game. It could be a big alternative. And that was one that I really appreciated already in the beginning of the interview. Then he spoke about the PlayStation, because it's true that when he was a kid, he was playing with the PlayStation. Why? Question of Fabiana Della Valle. He said, because I loved to take an advantage. Juventus was strong, had a lot of big players, so I wanted to have a bit of benefit, a bit of advantage against the friends that I was playing against, and Juventus was that. It gave me a lot of benefits. Great. What about... If you're asking who it was, the delivery man wrote fantastic, beautiful new Adidas shoes. And if you want to discover them, follow me also on Instagram, where I will probably do a story. And I need to reach also there 10,000 followers. We are that close. So I'm counting on you. And if you're curious, go back to Instagram, GJustjuve. As simple as that. We go back to Alcaraz because it's not over. Why did he choose Juve? What was actually he thinking when he heard the name Juve? Well, he spoke about the great players that Juventus had in their history, the history of Juve, the legendary club that Juventus is, and also, of course, thinking back about all the Argentinian one that played in Juventus. He said, I know there are no Argentinian ones, but I was sure that with Danilo, with Alexandro, etc., they would welcome me well, and I would have been able to speak in Spanish. Now, other thing that he said, I told you about the comparison with Vidal. Yesterday in the video, I bet my life on it. I said there will be one that will ask him, are you the new Vidal? And the question yesterday, yes, they were asked to Alcaraz, Charlie. He didn't answer, he didn't dribble. But he said, I'm really honored because Arturo did fantastically great. He's a great player. He did so many beautiful things at Juve. So I'm really pleased and honored to be compared to a lot of players, also to Vidal. But I am Alcaraz. And I want to, I don't know if it's translated well, but to burn my name in the history of Juve. That's beautiful. Because when you are writing, you can just cancel it. You can erase it. When you are burning it, it stays forever. And that's beautiful. He also spoke about that price tag of 50 million euro. What we are all asking ourselves, is it really worth 50 million euro price tag at the end of the season? He said, I don't know about that. I am absolutely not afraid. I will have to show what I'm worth. And at the end of the season, we will see. The word afraid or not being afraid, he said it a lot of times, especially when they were speaking about his strength. What are his strengths? He didn't say a dribble, the shot from the distance or whatever. No, he spoke about the fact that he has that garra. He has that character. Remember, I spoke already about it. Grinta, garra. Well, that's what he said. This is me. I hate losing. I am a real competitive guy. I want to win. Even if I'm playing these training sessions, the friendly that we are playing, I want to win them. So I hate that one. I'm not afraid to play even big games. I know that I'm extremely young, but I want to play these games with pressure and whatever. I don't care. I am not afraid. A lot of time he said, I am not afraid. I am aware of what I am. And you know what I loved when he spoke about his family? Because he said at a certain moment, I want to show them that I deserve to be there. I want to show them that all the sacrifices that they did for me in my life, it was deserved. I want to repay. And if there are some person on earth that you don't want to disappoint, it is your wife, your kid, your girlfriend, your father, your mother, your brothers. That circle, that's the people that you don't want to disappoint. And when he's saying, I wake up every morning, I'm thinking about it, well, I am convinced that he will do everything to succeed. Will he succeed or not? I don't know. But I'm sure that he will do everything to succeed. And who can be one of the maestro? There was a question, and it's not the first time, but who is the player that in training session in that week already impressed you? He could have said all the players. He said one guy, Locatelli. And it's not the first one, because Timo Weah, in the summer, he said exactly the same. Locatelli. Are we, fans, tifosi, probably underrating Manu Locatelli? I think yes. It can't be a coincidence that new players are arriving at you and they are watching Locatelli. They are telling you, he's the guy that impressed me a lot with his class. He spoke about class of Locatelli. He spoke of him being a referring point for the team. He spoke about a great technique. He said, I can learn a lot from Locatelli. What else did he say? When you arrive at Juve, you already know, but when you arrive at Juve, you understand immediately. High expectation, high standards, a lot of pressure, but I'm ready for it. So I really love the press conference of, I was about to say Thiago Alcaraz. No, we're talking about Carlos Charlie Alcaraz. I really loved it, and I'm really convinced that he will try to do well. I can't wait to see him even more. Now, we continue, because we have to speak about, before Kenan Yildiz, about the small update. Yesterday there was a family game where Alcaraz scored a goal from outside the box, a bit a la Vidal if you want to. But there are also good news. Jaló played for 1 hour, and that's a good one, because a lot of people, the rumors are saying that more and more is starting to be there. He didn't make yet his official debut, but it can be that in a few weeks we start seeing him. And can he be the natural one that is going on the left, to give a bit of breath to Danilo to play on the right, to a Gatti? Could be, so good news for Jaló. Good news for Chiesa that played 90 minutes, or at least he's trying to go as an objective to play 90 minutes, which would be fantastic. The lineups at the moment are Alexandro, Bremer and Gatti. Why Alexandro? Because Danilo is suspended. Why Gatti? Because you know it. We start knowing, understanding Max Allegri, when a player is doing a flop like that, or he's giving them trust for the next game. So Gatti there, Kostic on the left, Rabiot, Locatelli, McKennie, Cambiaso on the right, Yildiz and Milik. At least at the moment we are far away. Serie A starts today, But we play only on Monday. By the way, I have a surprise for you on Monday, but I can't tell you anything. Monday and Tuesday, follow a bit what is happening with the Juve world. Gazzetta dello Sport, and now we are in the topic. Kenan Yildiz. Kenan Yildiz. Overtaking from the Turkish player. There will be the gift, the contract extension, and on top of that, the number 10. And his idol, Del Piero, is also supporting him, helping him. He's watching the number 10 of his idol. Fantastic. But pay attention. What about Chiesa now? And that's what I wanted to speak about yesterday. You remember I always told you, the number 10, you don't have to receive it as a gift. You don't receive the number 10 of Juve as a gift. You need to deserve it. Of course, the number 10 is not only deserving it, but it's something that you have to dream about, that you also need to show that you can do it. Did he show enough at the moment? Not yet. Do we know that he can show us a lot? Yes, he can. And he will have until the end of the season to show us that he can be that number 10. Sometime in life, you have to bet, bet. Of course, with all the respect for Paul Pogba, that at the moment is waiting to defend himself in court. What will be the decision there? We will discover it. We will know. Will he be able to come back earlier, immediately in February? Will he have to wait 2 years, 4 years? We don't know. So Paul Pogba is an important factor also in that number 10. But the fact that Juventus is thinking to give him that number 10 is important for him, because you are showing him immediately you are the one that we want to build on. Not only one player, but an important one. We want to keep you here for a few years. Then the number 10, it can be that you are wearing it only one season and then you leave. It can be. It happened already in the past. But it's a big sign of we want to continue with you. We want to invest with you. And if you are looking a bit about the Mercato voices, you will see that Soulé can possibly come back or can leave. You will hear about a lot of players that can leave or can come back. There is one player that is never on the market session, and it is Kenan Yildiz. Juventus, they want to do everything to keep him. Now, Federico Chiesa is at risk. For what reason? We already said it so many times in the last few weeks. Contract extension, physical condition, so many factors. Well, if you give the 10 to Yildiz, it shows that you are not fearing the future of Chiesa. You want to keep him. Of course you want to keep him. You want to extend his contract. But you are there with a strength position saying, look, we want to continue with you. We want to be patient with you because you are a fantastic player. But we also have an alternative. Now it will be Chiesa that will be fundamental in understanding what he's able to give us and also what he wants. Important decision. I told you the topic Chiesa will be one that will be next to us for the remaining part of the season until the summer and maybe even more. So pay attention. You remember I was already warning you, especially for the, because we know it, we always have Juve in our heart, but we have our favorite players, the one that are really loving Federico Chiesa. Prepare yourself for everything that can happen. And I wish that we find a solution. I wish to see Vlahovic, Chiesa and Yildiz. But pay attention, because when you're listening to Agresti, when you're listening to the other influencer, is a topic that is coming more and more and more and more. I am not... Today, you remember? Yesterday I said I can bet my life that the question Vidal will be asked to Alcaraz. Today I can't bet my life that Chiesa will be there in the future with us. What about Vlahovic? I believe he will be there next season, but we also have to understand one thing. What about his contract extension? He has some time in his contract. It's not over yet, but he has a contract that is quite high in terms of salary, and Juventus wants to meet the agent. They already spoke with the agents to make sure that he's lowering a bit. And at the moment, it's not white, it's not black, it is gray. They want to rediscuss again. Juventus is really pushing for a new formula that at the moment the agents are saying, are we pissed off with Dusan Vlahovic? No, because of course when he signed, that's the offer that he received. A contract that is starting at 9 million and that is going towards a 12 million euro net in his pocket. Now, Juventus made the mistake to give too much to the player. He said, yes, now it is what it is. What I'm expecting from Dusan, if he doesn't want to renegotiate his contract, is that he delivers on the field, game after game after game after game. Of course, with some mistakes, but game after game after game. I hope that we can find a solution to lower it, because that's an important one. Now, what about Rabiot? Another one that is at the end of his contract. Well, there were talks last week about Inter, now it is Bayern Munich. Will we have more voices in the future? Yes, of course, because he is a free agent. And we know that these are the natural things. He's a good player, fantastic player that last year showed fantastically great. When we don't have him, or not at all, or at 50%, Juventus is suffering there in the midfield. What about the future of Rabiot? Today, I can't pronounce myself. I have no idea what will happen. Why? Because himself didn't take a decision. He wants to wait until the end of the season. April will be the moment. Now, tomorrow will be, no, Monday. Monday will be a historical one for Max Allegri. Why? Because he's now at 404 apps as a coach of Juventus. The next one in line is Marcello Lippi, 405. Am I judging who is entering my heart because and based off numbers? Absolutely not. Lippi is the coach that I grew up with. The coach that brought me and a World Cup with Italy, but also the Champions League, bring me in the finals of Champions League, made me dream with the Scudetto of 2002, the Cinque Maggio. Marcello Lippi is, for my generation, the GOAT in terms of coaches. But you have Trapattoni, Lippi, at the moment Allegri, but Allegri will go in that ranking of apps over, first equalizing Lippi and then going over Lippi. And you can say whatever you want. You like, you don't like, you prefer, whatever. This guy needs a lot of respect. When we are speaking about Max Allegri, whatever opinion we have, we like, we hate, we don't like, whatever. Washing the mouth. Thinking twice before speaking about Max Allegri. And that doesn't mean that you have to change your opinion. But with respect, we have to speak about a legend of Juve. Because when you are the second most apt coach of Juve, you deserve respect. Now, of course, you will speak about future. Mercato, Felipe Anderson, more and more and more. But also another player, Calafiori, that we already spoke about. Why am I bringing back these two players? Because yesterday it was Fabrizio Romano. And when Fabrizio Romano is speaking, we know that there is something serious. Fabrizio Romano is not speaking just to speak. He doesn't need fame. He has more than 20 million followers on Twitter. He's really successful. He's really focusing on Premier League and other. He doesn't need fame. When he's speaking, it means something is serious. A Felipe Anderson, also a Calafiori. Players that can be good for Max Allegri, but players that could be towards a change of model. 4-3-3, with Max, without Max, maybe with a Thiago Motta. So pay attention for the movements of the future, something that we have to speak about at the end of this season, not today. Why? Because today we have to focus on the start of Serie A, where tomorrow Roma Inter will be a big one, a really, really, really big one. If we want to dream, if we want to hope, unfortunately, we don't have the destiny anymore only in our hands. Yes, because we have to do our part, but we also have to watch about the other ones that are there at +4 at the moment. And if tomorrow Lukaku could do well, together with Dybala, together with Huijsen, together with Pellegrini, together with the new coach De Rossi, I would say thank you to the Giallorossi. Anyway, that's what it is for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe here and on Football, my second channel. Grazie, forza. Juve.